What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ICNV Drivers Edition. Today, we're going to talk about the C8 Corvette Z06. And let me give you a quick rundown of a backstory. I'm out in Kansas. I'm hanging out with one of my childhood friends I grew up with. Long story, another video coming about that. Don't worry, we're going to get into that later. But he asked me a simplified question. He said, how does it feel to be right? And I said, right? He said, yeah. You said the C8 Z06 was going to be about $155,000, give or take $5 grand for the Z07 maxed out package. And you were right. I had to sit back and say, hadn't even looked at it. He said the builder's up, go build out a C8 and see for yourself. So, guess what I did? I hopped on and built my version of a C8 Z06. But we can get into that in a later video. But what I want to share with you today, based off my experience as a car salesman and the new builder, I think GM has just made it easier to obtain a C8 Z06. Let's talk about it.
Move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic. Got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah.
Okay, before we get too deep into this video, go ahead and hit that like button. You know why? Because like buttons matter. Also, leave a comment. I like hearing your comments. If you think I did good, let me know. If you like this content, let me know. If you don't like the content, let me know. Let me know where I can improve if you don't like the video. I can handle constructive criticism, and I'm always looking to get better because, hey, I do this for you guys. And by the way, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join the ICNV Driver Edition community. We have great videos coming your way. We do a little vlogging, we do a lot of conversations, and we do a little messing around as well. Hit that bell so you can stay notified when we drop new content to come your way. Now, let's get into the story. Let's head over to Chevy.com and build out a C8 Z06. The first thing I do when I get to Chevy.com is I go to build a C8 Z06. So let's get to the configurator. Let's pick out a coupe. We're looking for the cheapest model that you can possibly build right now. So if you select a Corvette Stingray Coupe, and let's select Arctic White, we want to get rid of the extra cost for the amplified orange. But if you select the Arctic White Stingray, there's no charge for the paint. And if you go look at it, what you quickly realize is the actual price you can pay for a C8 Z06 with no options is $109,295. If you want to get a base C8 Z06 with no options, that's $109,295 for those of you that are lucky to get a car at MSRP. So what does that mean? Well, for most people, they're going to end up paying somewhere around 30 to 50 grand over MSRP. And that's where everything comes in. Remember we talked about flippers and many people criticize flippers? Well, here's the truth. A lot of people are still going to try to flip this Corvette. And what you have to understand, the flippers are going to help you. And why are they going to help you? Because I can tell you right now, if you add an additional $30,000 to that 109, a base Corvette C8 Z06 with no options, that's a hard sell. If you add 50 grand to that, and you're talking about a base C8 Z06 with no options for $160,000, that is a hard sale. So when you think about it that way, you having this C8 Z06 with no options and somebody's trying to sell it to you for $140,000 or $160,000, how many of you out there are actually going to buy a C8 Z06 with no equipment for $160,000? Let me know in the comments. I would love to talk to you about this. But I can tell you right now, I would never purchase that. And that reason alone is making it a hard sell. So what's going to happen? A lot of people that were on the list for the C8 Z06 and who were sitting there saying, man, 115,000 or 116,000 is my max, or for a lot of those people that actually agreed to pay the 30 grand over when they first got on the list, now they have some thinking to do. And I feel like, well, actually no, because I've talked to several people since I found out this configurator has come online, and a couple people have told me they have to back off their list because there's no way they're going to buy the car that they can actually afford off of this list. Now, the biggest thing about this is I know a lot of people sat there and said, I'll get a 1LT, I'll just throw on the Z07 package. I'm gonna let you in on a secret. If you select the Z07 package, it's not $89.95. It forces you to get the ground arrow and the Brembo brakes. So if you get the Brembo brakes, guess what? That's an additional $17,890. So in the grand scheme of things, with no other options but the C8 Z06 with a Z07 package, the cheapest Z07 package you can put in the car, you're looking at $128,000. Now let me ask you this question, especially because I know several people who've commented before with this channel that sat there and said, look, when they thought it was $89.95, they told me they were just going to get the C8 Z07 package on a 1LT and call it a day. At least they got an amazing track car, but their max was about $117. Well, guess what? You're now looking at $128,000. Let's just be real, $130,000 car, because I feel like at the point you're going to throw something else on the car. Maybe you won't, who knows? But $130,000 before any markups for a 1LT C8 Z07 package car with no equipment. And again, to you, or at least to me, let me know what you think, but I'm telling you right now, that's a hard sell. I can't see myself going out and spending $160,000 on a 1LT with a Z07 package, no more equipment. To me, that's an oxymoron. But maybe somebody out there would do it. Let me know what you think. Also, if you add on the $50,000 markup, that's $180,000 for a 1LT Z07 package car with no options. I don't think that's the way to go. But what I will say to you is this. Here's our other option. We can try to make this 1LT at least look appealing, but you only have the options of the GT1 seats. But even if we turn it red or turn the interior red, you just get red seats. That's not really attractive to me. So there is nothing about a 1LT that you can do to make it an appealing purchase, if you ask me. So on the other hand, what I realize and see is that, and as you go through the configurator, what you start to realize is there is no option for the engine appearance package. So I don't know is if actually removed because they don't have it in stock or it's not an option, or if you just can't get it on a 1LT. Let's talk about that. So to me, once you get past all this and you can't spiff up this 1LT to make it look anywhere near appealing for a higher price purchase, or let's say a higher price sale, the only thing left to me, in my opinion, is you have to step up to the next level. So let's go to a 2LT, or should I say a 2LZ. We're going to stick with the coupe because we want the cheapest version of the car you can make. So at least when we go to a 2LZ on a Z06, you start to realize it's $115,000 starting out. But when you add on the gas guzzler tax and the transportation tax at dealership, you're looking right around $118,000. So again, let's remove amplify orange settings, take it back to Arctic white, and we're now at $118,495. Now, this car gives you a little bit more freedom to mess around. So we're going to keep the standard wheels because we don't want any extra options. We're trying to make this the cheapest car you can possibly purchase because I'm trying to get a point across. And then what I will sit there and say is, let's look at the interior. Let's change the interior. So remember that red I tried to add? Let's add the red. Now see, this red interior gives it more pop. And guess what? You're not paying anything extra to give it this pop. So let's go with this red interior. Now, the other thing I would sit there and say is, if you want to make this car appealing, you got to step up from those GT1 seats. So let's go to the GT2 seats. And if anything, let's put the red interior back. You have a choice. You can stick with this red interior right here with the GT2 seats, which I would recommend because that's probably the best, cheapest value for your buck. Or you can go to a two-tone seat, which is just a few extra dollars. But again, like I said, I'm trying to keep the price down, so let's not do that. So now, for the moment, we're going to ignore the Z07 package. I'm going to tell you why. If you go to your options, right? And when we get to options, let's take a look at what's out there. Say, for instance, your thought process is, I'm going to get the Aero package alone and not the Z07. Well, guess what? It still forces you to buy the Brembo brakes. So what ends up happening, you come out with a cheaper price of $17,390. But here's the kicker. You're not saving yourself any money because it's actually $500 less than getting the Z07 package. And what you're losing out on is you're not getting the upgraded tires for track performance, and you're not getting the track tuned vehicle. And what do I mean by that? Let me show you. You see the Michelin Sport tires. If we upgrade the Michelin Sport tires, they charge you $500. Now I'm gonna tell you this right here. You can't even buy these tires for $500. So to me, this is a bonus. But here's the thing. All you did was just now get right back to the price of the Z07 package, but you still don't have the Z07 package. What do I mean by that? So the way we went about doing this, when you actually go take a look at the C8 Z07 package, because you just built it, but you didn't add it. So when you get back over to the actual Z07 package, what you realize is the car is not tuned for the ultimate performance and handling. You're missing out on the dampening of the system so it can adapt in like 10 to 15 milliseconds to driving session. You're missing this whole Z06 control package. That's what you're missing. So when you go around and just getting the Aero package and building everything else, this is what you lose. But I want you to understand that. So if you think you're going to bypass the Z07 package and just get the Aero, you're not saving yourself any money. And the $500 that you may say I'm going to have to save, it's not worth it. So with the Z07 package on a 2LT, you're looking at $138,000. That's a $140,000 car. And again, like I told you before, this to me is a better sale if you're asking maybe 160 grand. I could almost see that on this car. So at a $20,000 markup, it makes sense to me. But at a $30,000 markup, at 170 grand, I'm not buying it. But maybe there's some people out there that will buy this spec vehicle. At $180,000, that's when I start to draw the line, because I feel like although we've seen videos of the Z06 addressing or handling a Lamborghini Huracan, once you start crossing to that $180,000 range, I feel like I may want to step into a Huracan or possibly a McLaren. They may not be as reliable, but I feel like I'm getting more for my money on a car that's going to, I don't know, retain that value, but we can talk about that later. So if we're looking at the car at this price, that's a huge jump, and I just really feel like it's not worth a 30 or 50 grand markup. 20 maybe you can get away with. So let's do this. Let's strip it of all the extras we added to it. Well, not the extras. Let's take the Z07 package off. So if you take the Z07 package off of this car, if you take the Z07 package off this car, you get down to $120,000. That to me, if you add on another 20 grand of $140,000, may be an easier sale. And I want you to understand this. This is where a $130,000 or $150,000 car can be an easier sale for most people. Now I'm going to let you in on another secret. That car to me is appealing. I don't know if I would pay $140,000 for it. You may can get me to $135,000. So there's that swing again. But this is what I'm going to show you. Let's go over and build a 3LZ. So we're going to do the exact same thing. We're looking for the cheapest car we can buy. We're going to get a coupe. We're going to knock off the Amplify Orange. When you get the 3LZ, I'm going to show you this trick. Go to the interior and you add on the adrenaline red dipped. I'm only doing this because I'm crazy about it. But my point to you is there is no extra charge to add this interior to the car. This gives the car more of a pop, so it stands out. And guess what else happens? You also get a carbon fiber steering wheel. So you stepped up to $120,000 price, or actually $123,000. But right now, this car compared to the 2LZ looks more appealing, and it's only an additional $3,000. But wait, let's keep going. You also got the GT2 seats. They came standard. So again, like I said, this is a more appealing car. And if you was asking me to get this for $140,000 or $145,000, I think this could be a hit. But I'm going to let you in on one more trick. You want to know what that is? Let's go over to the packages. We're not going to select the Z07 package. What we're going to select is the anniversary package. The anniversary package adds on an extra $5,000. So guess where we're at? Remember when we had that conversation about the 1LT with the Z07 package? And I told you that was a hard sell? When you click on this anniversary edition package, you're right at $129,000. You're $2,000 more than the actual 1LT with the Z07 alone. Now, you don't really have a track-focused car, but what you do have is a nice looking car with a lot of options. You heard it, that's the key word, with a lot of options that you didn't get on the 1LT. And if you ask me, let's just add the carbon, let's add the black exhaust tips just for shits and giggles. But what I'm getting at is, at this point, you now have a vehicle that's appealing. And this vehicle, to me, can pull in a $40,000 increase, a $30,000 increase, a $50,000 increase. I will not pay the 50. But I truthfully can understand somebody paying $160,000 for a 3LZ Z06 Anniversary Edition. So what I feel is going to happen is we're going to see a lot of Anniversary Editions sold of this car, because to me, it's the best bang for your buck. So if there's going to be a markup added by the dealership, this car to me is the best bang for your buck. And I feel like that's what you have to understand. At the same point in time, I also feel like most people, and this is the hidden Easter egg for me, most people that set out to buy a C8 Z06, this is a crash course. Go on there and play with the builder. But I will tell you this, before you buy a 1LZ and you build out the Z07 package, unless you are truly tracking this car, that is not a good deal. I remember a lot of people telling me that sold their C8 to get prepared to purchase a C8 Z06 before we knew the pricing, that when they build their car, they got the Z51 package because you want to get the best resale dollar for your buck. Well, I can tell you right now, a 1LZ with a Z07 package will not bring you the best return on investment, or as you say, second owner resale value. But this 3LZ, the 70th edition car, will. So if you're asking me, this is where you spend your money. You may not have the track performance you're looking for, or you may not have the track performance that you think is going to bring you a good return of investment, but this car right here is your car. As you take a look at the interior, this car just looks so much better. It has so many more upgraded materials and options that you can't help but look at it and say, it's catchy to the eye, and it's actually worth the money. So that's what I'm telling you. But overall, what I'm really getting at is that now that the price configurator is up, what has truly happened is a lot of people that thought they were going to be able to purchase a C8 Z06 with some forms of options have just been really awakened and told this car is more expensive than they think. And I think that also goes into the simple fact that, like I told people before, there would not be a lot of C8 Z06s produced. It still was going to be a mass-produced car, but I do not see it hitting 12,000 units per year. It's probably going to consistently float between 6 and 10, with 8 being a good number. So now, like I told you when I started this video, I spoke to a couple people and they are requesting their money back, because the question now falls in your lap. Do you purchase a C8 Z06 without any options? Is that the right move, or is that the best move that you want to make? To me, I had to rethink my bill because my max price was $132,000. And I can tell you right now, I'm not buying a C8 with no options. The anniversary edition does look good, but it doesn't quite fit what I want. You know what? Let's just talk about my bill in a later date in another video, because I do have that coming your way, so stay tuned and keep looking for that. But ultimately, the reason why I said to you guys that the C8 Z06 may have just gotten attainable is because you now have actual people on lists who just now priced out their car who are starting to backpedal. Within the next week, I can almost guarantee you're going to see a lot of lists get shorter, because people are now going to start reevaluating this situation. And then we're going to start hearing people say, like I predicted before, I'm great at predicting things, the C8 is all you really need. So it's going to help stabilize the C8 market, which some people say at the C8 market, the bubble has burst. Again, we can talk about that also in another video, but the C8 market is going to be stable because the price of the C8 Z06 just came out. And here's the thing. People are going to be bagging out lists because this car costs too much for their pockets. I hate to say it, but it's a true statement. But not only that, you have the reverse side. I feel like GM just threw the ball in the dealer's court. And why do I say this? Because like I told you when we started this video, the 1LZ for $160,000 with no options is a hard sale. And heaven forbid you at a dealership where you're going to pay $100,000 over MSRP, but those people usually have disposable income, so I don't really feel like them getting the options they want on the car is going to be a problem. So we're not really talking about them. But I will say this to you: the dealers now have to make a decision, because yes, they're going to charge over MSRP, but you got to make it so you can also sell a car. So now this whole $50,000 markup that most people were preaching, you're probably going to see it dwindle down to probably 15, 20 grand, which if you go back to my first Z06 video, and I sat there and said to people that I feel like the sweet spot for the C8 Z06 is probably going to be anywhere between 15 and 25,000 over MSRP, which I can see that or understand it a lot more. But if you're looking at a base C8 Z06, GM has priced the dealers out of the markup. So I feel like you can get somebody to pay $120,000 for a complete base, but you won't get the 130, and you damn sure won't get the 140. And I really don't think you're going to get 160. So that's my whole review on why I feel like the C8 Z06 has just become obtainable, because dealers are now going to have to reevaluate this whole MSRP markup game, and we're going to see a lot of more vehicles or pricing come down, which is going to open the door for more people. And we're also going to see more people drop off the list, which for those people who can't afford some form of markup will be able to get an allocation a lot sooner than they think. So that's my prediction. That's my conversation on this topic. ICNV Drivers Edition. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you get notification when I drop more content. Like I said earlier in this video, let me know if you like this type of content. Let me know if you feel like I got a valid point. Let me know if you don't. And if you have any disagreements, give me some constructive criticism and tell me how I can improve on this content so I can make this channel better entertaining for you. But as always, I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I will see you in these streets. Peace.